Oh, welcome to the All Things Borough podcast. This is episode 49, and this podcast is proudly sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec take your business visions and turn them into innovative reality. I'm Alan, and I'm joined by, as usual, Simon. We're not joined by Tom today. He's got a lot of uni work to catch up on, so he's missing out on this one. But Simon, have you had a good weekend? Have you recovered from our last episode?
What happened last episode?
When we had,
Oh no,
we had Garbo one, didn't
it
we?
was a long one. It was a long one. My ears are still ringing. I think from his voice. I keep waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, and he's thinking he's standing there, but it's not. He's not. It's just the voice in my head.
It was a very long episode.
Not the usual voices I get in my head either. It's the other ones this time.
No.
Yeah. So yeah. Word on Tom. I've heard he's down spoons already on the piss, as it were. So yeah. Yeah. Good luck, Tom. Been nice knowing you. Yeah, we'll have you back on in a few weeks' time when you're less busy and people will stop inviting you out.
Absolutely, yeah. But we're joined tonight by the Farnborough women's physio team of Ben Coffey and Bernardo Leal. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good, yeah. Good evening.
Doing great. How about you?
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a long day. My first day back at work after quite a few days off, so it was pretty wiped out today. But no, yeah, it's good. We're all having fun. Got to earn the pennies, haven't we?
I
thought someone was going to say something. I thought someone was going to say something then.
I was just trying to work out. We were sat there working out how many pennies we've actually earned, and we were all silent.
Yeah, I don't earn that many pennies.
Thinking there wasn't that many. Yeah. I was trying to count them up in my head, and I got to like 9 and gave up. So yeah.
Right, as I said, yeah. So we've got Ben and Bernardo on, who are the physio team for Farnborough Women's Football Club. Is it just the first team you guys work with, or do you work with both them and the B team?
Well, we work with the first team with regards to games and training, and then some of the B team players who have potential to move to the first team obviously can come to some of the first team trainings. But we do help out the B team players if they get injured. For example, we have one of the B team players who's seeing Bernardo regularly for her knee injury. So yeah, I mean, they can always contact us and we can help out any of the players in the club.
Oh, brilliant. So how did you guys get into the world of physiotherapy then?
Do you want to go, Bernardo?
Like the long story, or
We've got 2 hours. We're trying to beat Simon's record. Right. So you crack on.
Okay, so with me it was I'm ex-military, and after I did my time, I didn't really know what to do with my life. I ended up working in an hospital as healthcare assistant in an intensive care unit, very random. And when I was working there, I saw the nurses work, the doctors work, dietitians, surgeons, etc., etc. And then I saw the physios work. I was like, that looks cool. So I looked into it, applied back in Portugal, got in school, and that was it.
And that was it.
Was that national service for Portugal national service, was it?
No, it was completely voluntary because my family has a military background, so I kind of naturally went into it as well.
Yeah. What kind of area were you in?
I was in the Air Force, military police. I was a canine handler.
Oh, cool!
Oh, brilliant.
Have you got dog yourself? Always had dogs, or is it something you're interested in?
I mean, my family's way into dogs. So my father right now, a year ago he had 9 dogs, and now he has like 7 or 6.
Blimey.
But right now, the dog I have is my fiance's dog, which is old and decrepit, but is still around, and I enjoy his company.
It sounds like me and Alan's relationship. That he's old and decrepit, but still enjoys company.
Yeah. Well, sometimes Simon.
Sometimes, not all the time. Yeah, you've got a dog, haven't you? You've been walking that around the woods, I've noticed.
Yeah, I've got a dog. Yeah, she's I think she's 11 or 12. Little Springer Cocker mix. Yeah, yeah. She enjoys her walks, but she's a bit slow sometimes. She bugs me and bugs me in the mornings when it's time to go. And then when I take her there, she's like about 50 yards behind me, just staring at me. And then she likes jumping in muddy puddles, which I don't like, because then she's got to get back in my car, which is not fun.
I thought you meant you don't like jumping in muddy puddles then for a minute, but
No, I don't like jumping in muddy puddles either.
It's all about the dog. Yeah, fair enough. What about yourself, Ben? You a dog man?
No, my wife is, but we haven't got a dog yet because we always feel like we don't really have the time to look after a dog properly.
Yeah,
yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
We have a cat currently, which was during COVID. We got a cat, and that was my wife's decision, who's always said she would never, ever, ever have cats. So she hates cats. The cats are stupid. And now she's the best cat lover on the planet. So, but we got a cat that's kind of like a dog, Neva Masquerade. It's a breed. They have a natural friendly personality. They're friendly with dogs, people. They play fetch. I take her on walks. I mean, she follows me around. And comes back with me. It's a very interesting breed indeed.
It's very strange. Very strange. I don't like cats. I can echo like your wife's sentiment. I know she's got a cat now, but I'm not a big fan of cats. And I've never met a friendly one.
She was exactly the same as you, and now she's converted. So maybe there's just one cat out there for everybody.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep that. I'll make sure my missus doesn't listen to this podcast, because I think she would get a cat if I said yeah.
It's a bit like true love, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's always one out there for us. You know, just got to find her. Just got to find the right feline. Yeah, so I'm still struggling with that myself. But...
No,
Yeah. So anyway,
Ben,
what about yourself, Ben?
How did you get
into it? Yeah,
I went to live in the French Alps when I was very young. My parents had an opportunity to go out there, so we did. So I grew up doing a lot of mountain sports, skiing. I raced and then cycling, running in the mountains, and I had a quite bad ski accident where I landed from quite a height on my neck and had a quite bad whiplash. So I was about 17, 18. So I saw a physio osteopath who was both professions, and he fixed me. And I thought, you know what, that's a really cool job. And I love fixing things generally. I can fix pretty much anything. I'm the maintenance man around our practice as well. And so, I went into physio, and I graduated in 1996. I've been doing this a long time, and I trained as an osteopath as well. I do both, and just love it. And I've always worked with sports as well.
Whereabouts is your practice, Ben? Where is it based?
So we're based on the Farnborough Road. So it used to be Milestone Surgery, which was a GP surgery. I work for them. I do their advanced practice physiotherapy, their steroid injections. They moved to Southwood, and we purchased a building off them, and we've renovated it, and we've made it into an advanced practice with a hydrotherapy pool. We've got a 140 square meter gym, a great team of physios there. And we're basically, just building that practice up now. It's very new, and it's going really, really well. Bernardo is a huge part of it as well. He's a fantastic physio and has a great drive to make it work. And we're doing really well with it.
Brilliant. Do you have like other sports educated for all kinds of people, or is it just sports people that you do?
We do everything musculoskeletal. So we have NHS contracts. I've got 10 NHS contracts in the area. So with physios who are in-house in primary care, who see patients who come in with the musculoskeletal problems, and then we have a secondary care service where we treat patients, and so they can be referred from their GP surgery to us for treatment. So we see our NHS patients at our practice, which is quite good for them because they actually then have access to some really cool equipment that a lot of NHS physios don't have access to, so that's quite nice. And then we obviously have a private business there as well. We are a private healthcare provider with NHS contracts, basically.
Yeah, brilliant.
Cool. So you're talking glowing terms to Bernardo there. Is he in line for a pay rise?
Bernardo's always going to be in line for a pay rise because he does a great job. Yeah.
Happy days. What a nice boss, Bernardo. You're a lucky man.
You can be my agent.
Thank you. So I was hoping you'd say that. We'll have a chat afterwards when we're off there.
All right.
So how did
Happy
you guys
days.
get involved then with Farnborough Football Club and the women's team?
Yeah,
Where did that start?
Bernardo had the story for that.
Yeah, so no, it's the star player here. It was Lewis, because I mean he just sent I think random emails, random
Hmm.
places, just looking for. I don't know if there's any volunteer physio. You know, we can't pay, but you know, if there's any volunteer
Yeah.
physios want to help us out, we're a new team. And then our admin team sent us, redirected this email back to us. And because my physio background is sports physio, and because I'm seeing mostly NHS patients, I do get some athletes every now and then, but most aren't athletes. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, it could be good if the program is good and if the people are good, people involved. And yeah, so I contacted them back. And then actually me, Ben, and Jade, one of our other physios, went to one of the practices at the start of the year. We we did kind of some we do interviews with players just to kind of see how their general health and readiness to play football, to see if there's anything that we need to work on immediately and work during the year. And then, yeah, I started going to practices, and then a couple of weeks later, or 2 or 3 weeks later, Ben as well. And then we started going to games, and yeah, we just both loved it. And yeah, I go to basically every home game usually. Away games, I'm starting now to go as well, just trying to manage the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually every home game I'm there. Ben doesn't miss one
Yeah.
at all. So yeah, and it was curious because it's a 1 in 1,000 chance that Lewis would send an email and get two
Yeah.
physios
Yeah.
ready to be there all the time, spending hours and hours and hours preparing things and doing stuff with the players. Uh, I don't think a lot of physios would do that.
No, I was gonna say, because obviously everybody at the club, through all the levels, through the women and the men's team, are all do it on a voluntary basis. And obviously you guys have got to run a business as well on the side, which is your main sort of income. So was there any sort of kind of trepidation or worry about signing up to helping out because it is voluntary?
Well, the way I thought about it was kind of, let's see how it goes. I felt like it was really important to contribute to the Farnborough community because we're Farnborough Physio, we're a new practice. And we are. I mean, I've been in the area since 2013. I started Surrey Physio in this area back then when we got our first NHS contract by myself, and since then it's grown, massively. But yeah, Farnborough Physio is, to have a practice like that of that size is quite rare. And because we have NHS patients, I felt like we wanted to just really get involved in the Farnborough community, and so it made sense. And Bernardo and I went along just to kind of see, and we were thinking, well, let's see how it goes. It may be good, it may be rubbish, in which case, we'll just do it for a bit and then we'll just leave it. But testament to Craig, Lewis, Mark, James, Jamie, Lorraine, Kelly, Suzanne, everybody, and all the players. It's such a great group of people. So yeah. So we basically their motivation to make it work fits our motivation to do what we do. And Bernardo's experience in the past with teams where the managers and the coaches have been horrible, and he's just like quit because it's they're not listening to him. We're the medical experts, and if we say this player can play or can't play, and we're overruled on it, there comes a point where like, screw this. Sorry.
Yeah.
not right. But we've had the complete opposite experience. It's, we're listened to and we're respected, and we respect everybody back, and it just works.
Well, Bernardo, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so exactly what Ben said. And my biggest experience with sports physio was in a professional volleyball team, which was also a women's team, but it was a professional team. So it was practices, 2 practices a day, every day, basically, with games on weekends. We just had the Monday off, basically, and it can be a very stressful environment where the physio is there to put out fires, basically.
Yeah.
And if you can't put out a fire with a little glass of water, then you're doing a bad job, and you have to fix everything, and you have to be like a shaman guru, kind of like
Yeah.
waves the
Yeah.
wand,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the player can now play. And I had a little bit of that fear going in because of past experiences, but then exactly like Ben said, everybody that is involved, even the players, all the players seem to be, some of them are a bit more invested than others in terms of
Yeah.
how serious they are. But at this level, and even professional football teams, they all have their variances in terms of who's a bit more invested and who's a bit less. But everybody that's on that team wants to win, and it just shows on the first
Yeah.
season. It shows the results are there, right?
Yeah, I think it kind of shows with them. We've spoken to like quite a few of the girls, and the respect and the love that they have for you guys is huge. And I think it's because they obviously know at their level it's quite rare to have like a physio team, even just one physio on the side helping them out on and off the pitch. I think a lot of these clubs don't have that in their league. Most of the time, it's just one of the coaches running along with a little medical bag and a bottle of water. So to have you guys on their side, helping them out on the pitch, off the pitch, and training, if they get an injury, they come and see you. I think it makes them appreciate it a bit more, well, a lot more, and they show you a lot of love. And I think that's obviously one of the big reasons what's kept you in all season.
Yeah. I think we probably the biggest supporters of, of the team now.
Yeah.
Craig has said that about me. And the way I look at it is, if I can do something that makes a difference and the team do well because of my input, obviously there's everybody else's input as well, but if I can make a difference, Bernardo can make a difference, and it's appreciated, and we're all working together towards a common goal, which is to win, it's great fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to top it all off, you're a local business as well. You're a business based in the town. And like you said, it's all part of helping the community. And that's what the club is all about in a minute. And you are very much part of that community. So yeah, so it's good to keep the local business side of things involved in the club and keep that going.
Yeah. And also women's sport is really important. And I have two daughters,
Absolutely.
20 years old, 17 years old. So, I'm used to, challenges for women, and from my own experiences as a dad, and I'm not now a football dad apparently as well. But yeah, so I mean, women's sport is really important, and we're really happy to help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think you've definitely improved. Well, it's a big help having someone like yourselves on the sidelines, because you can get injured anytime in any game, any training session, anytime. As I found out, I've done a lot of running over the years and myself, and not so much recently because I've hurt my ankle, and it was like a 3 month like rehabilitation back in again, and it took ages to do it, and even getting to
Mainly
work was bad.
gouts.
Yeah, and I've got gout, as well, and I've got shin splints, and I've got a bit of a bad back, and I went for a run this evening, and I got a bad back again, so then I picked it up. But yeah, it's just it's a
A big
constant
lump
thing.
in
But
front of you. It's
yeah,
a
that's
big lump in
probably
front of you
probably the
that's
5 stone on my
weighing you down,
stomach's probably
Simon.
the problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good. And I know, Ben, you get involved with the kind of the physical fitness side of things as well, don't you? Do the sort of the warm up and the kind of the fitness edge of things. What sort of thing do you take the girls or ladies through?
Yeah.
on that? What kind of thing?
That was an interesting story when that started. I mean, Bernardo and I, we did some tests with the girls early on, and just to kind of see their physicality, where they could improve, any areas which could potentially put them at high risk of injury, particularly knees, as we know in the incidences of ACL ruptures in women's football compared to men's is way higher. So we obviously want to prevent that. So we did a few tests, and then we could see there was some issues there that needed to be addressed to help them not get injured and improve their overall fitness and their strength, their speed, agility. And I was saying to Craig, it might be nice, if I could have the girls, at the end of a session, just to sort of do some running fitness stuff with them, just to, get them used to it and maybe make that a regular thing. So I think it was back in November or something like that, or October, I can't remember. He said, at the end of this session, you can do something with them for 20 minutes. So I put it all on the Spond, the app we use for the games, and explained it a little bit to them in advance what we were going to do. And it was going to be 30-second sprints, 30-second rest, times 6. And I said to everybody, it's not a race. You run sort of 85, 90% your own pace. And, we're going to do that, 6 times with just 30-second rest. So anyway, Craig handed them over to me, and they're all looking at me like, why is this guy wearing shorts and t-shirt and got a Garmin on? I'm like, okay, we're going to go now. And they're like, what, you're doing it too? I said, yeah, you better keep up. So, and it was hilarious because I was basically running around the pitch hard, and with some of them could keep up with me actually, just about, but most of them were really finding it difficult after probably about the second rep. And so it was a good measure. I was able to see everybody's fitness. But also I gained their respect because they're like, okay, this guy's serious. We're not just having a whistle blown at us told to do things. We're actually going to do this properly and do some proper fitness training. So they all bought into it straight away. And then from then on, then Bernardo created the Monday strength and conditioning, and they bought into that. And so we basically work with them twice a week on all sorts of areas of their physicality, which has paid off big time in the season, because they've gone from when I saw them in the friendly back in August time, where I was like, okay, this is going to be difficult, to now they are phenomenally fit and athletic, as you've seen. They don't get tired. They never stop running. They're strong the whole time. Injuries have gone, very minimal. So it's been good.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing. I mean, both me and Alan played football over the course of the few years, not in recent times, but when we were playing, we were sort of I was always one of the fitter ones, and it does help because when you get to sort of that 70-80 minute mark in a game, that's when your injuries are going to start to happen, because you kind of like physicality, you're down. So fitter you are, the better. And also when you with your injury prevention stuff that you do as well, it's really important to sort of, and also the girls on sort of start to know their bodies as well, and they know they've got issues. So if they feel something is not quite right, they can just say, I've got that issue in my calf again, or I've got a little hamstring tear maybe, and you can, and they know, and they can take them. It prevents you being only out for a week when you could be a month. You know what I mean? That sort of thing is really important.
So some of them like to hide it a little bit.
Yeah, it's typical footballers.
It's typical players, isn't it? Typical footballers.
Yeah,
I think it's more typical women's football. Yeah, I think you see more in women. I think they can be a little very tough and stubborn at the same time, which is a combination.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how's Katie's knee?
Well, you saw, but Katie had a really severe knee injury. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was at the game. I saw it when it happened.
Yeah, I had her in the changing room afterwards. 10 minutes after the injury, her knee was already huge. Luckily, it wasn't the ACL, but it was a bad knee sprain. Normally that would be the end of the season for her. But because she was so integral to the team, up to then she had been involved in every goal. She'd scored a lot of goals. Very strong, very fast, very mature player. I really needed to try and get her back. So, basically, fair dues to her. She had to go through it. I mean, she worked really, really hard, and the goal was to obviously get the knee to heal. get it to be able to tolerate football, but then also make it bulletproof, because to come back from an injury like that and actually play at a high level, you've got to be strong again, because it takes you lose a lot of strength during the injury healing process. But as you saw, I mean, she had a wedding on a Saturday and came back and she scored the last 2 goals of the season.
That was at that was at Cove, wasn't it? When they played the game, they played at Cove. Yeah, she played really, really well.
And yeah, I mean, she didn't have any problems with her knee that game, banging in the goals, really fast. And the trainings we've done since then, she's even stronger than that day. So for the final on Sunday, she's looking deadly.
Yeah, I wanted to ask also. That's good to hear, because I know it's something. We were, as Alan said, we were at the game when it happened. It was like one of those weird ones, wasn't it? Where they're actually not weird. They're the worst ones, because she wasn't with anybody. She just turned around and
I think it's just the way she landed her leg or something, and she turned funny. And she wasn't under really any sort of kind of real pressure. It's just the way that her foot planted, and then she just went down. And I remember turning to Simon, and I was like, I think that's her knee.
Yeah.
Bernardo tested all the players way back in the early season on jumping, and it wasn't good. And so a lot of it is, it's what you call your proprioception. So it's your awareness of where you are in space. So your body feels that. It's not what you see and what your inner ear does. It's what your body feels. So if that's not great, you can land slightly awkwardly. And then if you don't have the power behind it to correct that, then something's going to buckle. So it's either a sprained ankle, it's a buckled knee, or you land badly. So we've really worked hard on the strength and conditioning with Bernardo's programs to make the girls phenomenally strong, so that when you're up in the air and you come down, if you come down a little bit awkwardly, you can handle it. That's what we're trying to do.
So what did you guys do with Katie then to help heal the knee?
Yeah, I mean, I did most of the work with Katie. So there was a lot of getting the inflammation under control. So I do steroid injections. So we did do a couple of those over a 3-month period to help with the healing process, because the swelling does slow things down. A lot of just manipulation of the knee, so it's getting its full range of motion, because it's pretty restricted after you've had a big fusion swelling like that, and then trying to bring her back into doing normal football movements. You've got to be able to do quick movements. You've got to be able to turn, twist on the knee. Got to be able to accelerate, stop. You've got to be able to jump, and then bring in the power behind that. So she did come and play some minutes, but often with a bit of a mini injury from it. It was very hard for her mentally, because she would come in. I mean, we even had to come in for one game. She played like 10 minutes and scored, and then we took her off. Another game she came on, and she got a little tweak to the knee. She got slightly tackled, and her knee went the wrong way. And even though it wasn't injured again, it just kind of aggravated it. And then she always needed a bit of time to recover from each of those little incidents. And it was hard for her, because she's like, because she'd never been injured before, so she didn't know what to expect. So she had to trust me, because she's like, what's the point of me coming on if I keep getting injured? I said, well, you're not actually injured. Your knee's not quite, strong enough. So you're going to get these little niggles, but we'll manage them. And so she would be coming on and she'd be doing more minutes. And then she finally got to the point where she could play and then come off with feeling okay.
With nothing,
And I literally told her when that would be. She said, is that going to be? I said, it's going to be on this weekend. And it did work out. But that's because she put the work in. She did everything I said, all the stuff she had to do at home, going to the gym as well. She worked really hard on it.
It's really good, actually, knowing that you've got someone like yourself and Bernardo on behind you to say, if you this is what we're aiming for, and just have the confidence to say, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what's going to work. And obviously, you with most injuries like knees and ankles and ligament type things, you're going to have little setbacks over the period of time. I know from a lot of watching and speaking to lots of players, it's kind of that's what you get. You get little setbacks, and that's when you need someone like the physio, like yourself, to say, don't worry, these things are expected. It's not unexpected. These things happen. It's good. It's really good.
It's just the guidance. Bernardo's been working with our goalkeeper Morgan who had a bit of an injury, and so she skipped a few games. That's been fine. And Jade has stepped in and done an amazing job. But really, we need Morgan for the final, and Bernardo's helped her get there. Just helping reassure her and doing all the right things, and she's there. So
Cool.
Yeah.
just that guidance, it really helps. I think.
Have you had a I was going to ask you, have you had a phone call from Spencer yet, trying to get you in the men's team yet? Are you, when are you announcing that?
I heard you mention that Lorraine had said that the men's team was saying, "Oh, when are we going to get a bit of this?"
Yeah. I think some of them are quite jealous. I don't think I think at the moment they've got a sort of fat bloke that runs on with a like a medical bag.
No, they haven't. That's a bit unfair, Simon. It's a bit unfair. They haven't really. No, the physio they have had this season. He's quite good, but I spoke to him at the awards night, and he's not coming back because he's got like university stuff to deal with. So there is a vacancy there, I would imagine. But
I think
I guess doing football all weekend physio wise is going to be a bit much for you.
Yeah, I mean, we do have our my wife, Bernardo has his fiance, they do control our time a bit. Fair enough, we can't. Yeah.
You'd be all right if you're like me, Ben. Free and single and dodgy looking. You'll be fine. You wouldn't have these issues.
Yeah. No, well, speaking of goalkeepers as well, obviously Jade would be delighted to get a little mention there again, on another episode, because she has done really well in the time that she has stepped in for Morgan. But Bernardo, on Morgan, how is she? Because obviously we've got the cup final, which is their last game of the season, is coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, Morgan, the injury me and Ben thought it was kind of like a little sprain, turned out to be something a little bit worse.
Yeah, was it a hamstring, wasn't it?
Yeah, but she's just very, very smart and very hardworking, very mature player. So I knew that she was gonna do well, because it's one of those injuries that at the start, especially, you can go like a couple of weeks and you don't feel a lot better. And when that happens, you're like, it's 2 weeks and doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But yeah, what Ben said comes a reassurance, the guidance, give them stuff to do. And she was actually one of I think Ben, she was the first person to go in the pool, hydrotherapy pool, I think.
Was that Morgan or Steph?
No, I think it was Morgan and Steph came in later. So for her type of injury, the hydrotherapy pool was actually quite good because, it's very warm water and light resistance to movement, but not a lot, less gravity going through knee joint, hip joint. So that worked very well. And then it's, a very, very, very big part, or most part of what rehabilitation is gradual exposure to movement, gradual exposure to loading. And that's basically what we do, and what we've been doing with her. Her problem stemmed from, it was a multifactorial injury, like most of them are. So it stemmed from, it seemed like it was the pitch, the way that the pitch was on that day, and her particular technique of doing things. It was a kind of a combination, and maybe other things that come, like injury risk factors are very complex and diverse. It all came together, and she had a bad injury, but I think she's going to be 100%. I think she's basically right now very close, if not very, very close to 100%. And she's one thing that's very, very helpful, made my life very easy, that she's very smart. So I just kind of told her during practice, during games, at home, how I didn't tell her what to do necessarily. I told her how to go about doing things. If you're feeling this, you do that. If you're feeling that, do that. When you start the practice, you don't start kicking the ball 100%. You just start slow. Doesn't feel great? Go back a little bit. Feels really bad? Stop. And it seems easy, it's complex, but with Morgan it was very easy because, like I said, she's very smart, so she's
Yeah.
gonna be there
There's a
for
couple,
the
couple of
final.
things I picked up on there with you there, Bernardo, at the beginning, because you said that she had an injury. She thought that it was something small and ended up being something big. Now that's something that you guys are integral in doing, because there's lots of footballers and all sports people. They always, I don't know, it's all in your mind, isn't it? You think, you hope and think it's something small. So you end up, you maybe have 3 or 4 days doing nothing, and then, or maybe a week, and then you come back too quickly. Then it's only then that you realise that you've got something bad. So having you guys around to actually diagnose that and then sort it properly has probably meant that she's now back sooner than she would have been otherwise. You know what I mean? So it's really, really important to get that information to people, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of the times people, it depends on some physios think this, some physios don't. Physios are very different. I believe that time is extremely important, and you can be the best physiotherapist in the world. If a tissue was damaged and needs a certain amount of time to heal, it's going to take that certain amount of time. There's a few things that maybe we can maybe shorten, like that length of recovery, but time is extremely important. So yeah, we have to be humble. And when I saw that injury, I was thinking, I think you sprained your hamstring, strained your hamstring. But then as that went on, I thought, no, this is worse. But at the end of the day, the treatment and rehabilitation for a strain and, for example, a tear is very, very, very similar. It's just the intensities and the progression of things that are going to be different.
Yeah. I think we've all been guilty of sort of coming back from an injury too quickly sometimes, or trying to push ourselves too hard too soon. But yeah, it's very important. Like you said, time is the key factor with most things that go wrong. You have to give yourself time, give yourself body to recover and start build up slowly, don't you, from a foundation, and then intensify things as you get more confident and more and stronger. Yeah,
it's definitely key that during that time, that is pretty much a fixed time of healing, you do everything right during that time, because the outcome is then completely different.
Yeah.
So much better if you've done it right during that healing phase. The outcome, how you get back, it can be night and day. You can get back and then be fine, or you could get back and keep re-injuring. So that's where we really step in, is making sure it's done right, so the problem is properly resolved.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And have you had, I know, because obviously with Morgan's injury as well, and I know Rosie obviously she broke her wrist
Yeah, I saw
a
her
while
today.
back. So how was Rosie's injury? Because I think I know I was speaking to her a couple of weeks ago. I think she was quite hopeful of coming back for this game.
The problem for Rosie is actually the opposite of what I just explained. So she was seen by orthopedics, had a plate put in. So then, she was given exercises, and that was 8 weeks ago, but she wasn't given the physio, which I didn't know. So I found out today that she's not seen anybody in 8 weeks. So she has very little movement.
Yeah, so when I saw her, it was at the B team final, and she showed us with her wrist, and it didn't move very, very far.
Yeah, so that's puts her kind of a huge risk of play. But from the point of view of what was done, that's healed. It's been long enough, but then if you lack movement in your wrist, you can easily hurt yourself. So yeah, we'll just manage that one appropriately, for her safety.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm talking about it with her and Craig at the moment. So
what's going on with Steph Poulton? Because I haven't seen her on the training on the pitch at all recently, and I've just we just started following each other on Instagram as well. She added me the other day, and I thought, oh yeah, that's cool. I haven't seen her. What's going on?
Steph's a prime example of how what we do needs to be specific, because she is phenomenally fit. I mean, she is.
Yeah.
It could easily be the fittest person in the whole team. When she joined, which was much later, she did do the trials and was with us in the beginning, and then for other reasons she couldn't be part of the team. But she came back, but much later in the season. But she came back as a phenomenally fit person, so strong, so fast, great endurance. Played one game, player of the match in her first game with us. Week later, second game, she had taken on fatigue from that first game because she wasn't used to running around with a football. Because fitness and football fitness, match fitness, are two different things.
Yeah.
Got injured in the second game. Not too bad, managed to sort her out. Then came back and started doing some of the specific fitness training with us, but she's always been behind the others. And again, she got another injury, which is probably related to how fast she is, how strong she is, but her muscles can't quite tolerate the action of football because she hasn't done the whole program with us through the season. She's okay now. We've sorted her out again. But for her, when she's with us the full season next year, we'll make her bulletproof by doing everything with her so that she's always match fit and doesn't get this fatigue that can cause her injuries.
This type of things, like I'm just amazed. This sort of thing is like so invaluable, because I wish I had it when I was playing, because I would have played a lot more games. I might still be playing now, probably not, but I might. I'll be running around. Playing is probably a different word for it, but this sort of thing is so important. This is why having you guys around is like a massive thing. I know all the girls are really thankful for it, and they as you say, you've seen the improvement in them throughout the course of the season, being with them all the time firsthand, seeing them every week. You can see the progress all the time, which is really, really good. So I think a lot of people just turn up at ladies football matches, think it's just a bunch of girls running around, not really knowing what they're doing. But as we said in a lot of interviews we've done with the ladies team, it's a really professional setup. You guys encompass that. It's first rate, first class stuff. There's no shrinking. There's no amateur hour here. It's all properly done, proper training, proper backup through Craig, yourselves, and everybody. So it's a really good setup, and so I've been really impressed with it. I have to say, I'm not a massive advocate for women's football, I have to say, but I am changing my tune as the season's gone on.
Slowly.
Very slowly. From that Yateley friendly to now is like polar opposites, aren't they?
Yeah. Actually, Leanne summarized it really well a few months back. So she's very experienced. She's been around a long time, done many, many seasons of football. And she said that this is the first time ever in a season of football that she's actually become faster, stronger, and fitter in her whole career. And she said that, Bernardo and I are obviously doing something right, because she's never experienced that before.
Yeah.
But now she's addicted to it. She's messaging me. She wants to do a half marathon.
Wow.
She wants to run faster. Yeah,
brilliant.
You need to get her to put one of those endorsement plaques on the wall of your surgery and get her there. They'll help out no end. Bring the flock, where the punters will be flocking in.
Yeah.
So have you guys, both of you guys, have you enjoyed being part of it, being on the pitch and that this season?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, love it.
I love watching the games. I really like it, and I'm so invested when I'm there. I'm like, the heart is pumping. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that is the word. That is definitely the word. Bernardo, invested is the perfect term for it, isn't it?
Yeah, and exactly. So every Monday that we do the training, and Ben Thursdays, every hour we put in, we want them to do well, and so games for me, I'd rather go see their game than watch like any other sport. Professional sport doesn't really, I like watching some things, but nothing. It's the investment, right? So
it helps as well when you know the girls really well now as well, and you know them all. They are really, all a really nice tight bunch unit. They're all really nice people.
Yeah,
they all get on really well. It's really nice, and they're all very polite, nice people, which is really good to see. That's what you don't want. You don't want someone who's like a pain in the backside. There probably a lot of them are, but in a nice way. You know what I mean?
Nice way.
Yeah.
No, it's a very good environment, and I think a lot of that is the captain, Leanne. I think a lot of like the great environment and the cohesive unit that is the team comes from her. But yeah, every single player, which I think is quite rare from all the physio sports I've been doing with different teams, I never really seen a team where everybody just really clicks.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's no like bad blood or anything.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's really good. Like we said before, they bought into the whole thing. Having you guys there, the Craig and all the other coaches, they bought into everything and the whole ethos of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, and they recognise that you guys are there. Yeah, you're there on your own time. You're not getting paid for it. It's all voluntary, but they're buying into it and they want to do it because they recognise that without you, like most of the clubs at their level in their league, they don't have those clubs don't necessarily have what they've got with you guys, and so they recognise that, and that's why they bought into it. They want to do it because without you, there'd probably be a lot more injuries and a lot more long-term injuries as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, going on the back of that, I mean, I would absolutely have loved to have some physiotherapy, all sorts of people like yourselves, backing me up when I played football. I mean, I never played at a very good level, but even at, say, there's always like niggles and injuries and things you're battling all the time, and just to have someone like yourselves in the background helping out with that sort of stuff is amazing. Oh, and obviously, everyone always will think back to get the bad injuries, but it's not most of your work isn't around those. I mean, they're the kind of big things that take up a lot of time, but a lot of the other time you spend will be with little injuries and little niggles and things like that, and just giving advice and helping out and managing things like that and getting people getting people back on the pitch again quicker than they would do usually is the most important thing for a player.
But the girls do enjoy the stuff we do. They're quite competitive. One of the girls, Tally, she's always trying to lift or more weight with us than us with her legs. And then Esme, she's trying to run faster than us. It's good fun. Keeps them motivated to have a bit of competitive.
It keeps you on your toes as well, Ben. I take it, yeah.
It does, yeah. Well, tomorrow I've got my race with Esme, so Esme, sorry, so yeah, we'll see how that goes.
How far is the race?
It's across the stadium, so full length of the pitch.
Oh, great, cool, yeah.
Esme's very fast.
Yeah,
and I'm old, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Make sure you get a video of it, Ben, and send it over.
Social, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my daughter who does the photography, Celine, I think she's going to be there tomorrow to do that, to film that. So
she's going to be interviewing the winner, I take it, yeah, but with a medal ceremony.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
You guys, Brennan, you mentioned the pitch. You guys training on the pitch tomorrow night then?
We're not training on the pitch. We're just doing some celebrations for our win.
The league win.
Cool. That's all right. What I suggest you do is make sure she has a few drinks first, and then take her on the race.
I don't know, that might help.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it always makes me run faster where I can't see where I'm going. Blind drunkenness is, but these days, yeah, it's better for me. I don't feel the pain as quickly either.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, we got some questions out, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions that have come in. So Leanne has asked. She said, "Are you guys working on the Cisgel sponsorship?"
It feels like we should. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely providing a lot of cis nutrition, but that's what I use for my endurance sports. It's great stuff. But yeah, I need to try and see if we can get something. That would be good.
It'd save you a fortune, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. You see the players now at halftime, they all go to Ben and they're like, yes, please.
I feel like a drug dealer.
What I suggest you do, make them taste horrible, then you'll get through less. That's what you do. You don't taste really horrible, they won't have them. They'll get fed up with them in the end. there'll be the odd one that will still have them, but the rest have just gone to something else. You'll be free.
Believe me, they never taste good. They are horrible, but they just give you a good energy boost.
That probably tells you how many of those I've had.
Is that what it is? Is it just gives them a bit of gives them that boost of energy for it to carry on in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more scientific than that. It's the type of sugars, when you take them makes a difference. You're maintaining the calories. Power is oxygen and glucose. So you got to, the oxygen you're breathing in, but obviously you need the glucose. So keeping the levels up gives you the endurance throughout the game.
I think me and Alan are showing our age and also showing the fact that we've never had a cyst gel in our lives. So.
No, well, I don't. When we were playing, I don't think that was a thing, were they?
No, we had cut up oranges and water. That was it. I used to have Jaffa cakes at Jaffa cakes at half time. That was my thing. Those Jaffa cakes. Yeah, but I don't think I was supposed to do a whole 33 at half time. No, was I? That was a problem.
Yeah. No, we also had a goalkeeper. We also had a goalkeeper that wouldn't play without drinking 4 cans of Stella before. So.
We have our outliers. We have Nelly, who basically lives on McDonald's and will turn up.
I've seen a few videos and pictures of her with a wrap or something in around.
Yeah, and she is an outlier because she's incredibly fit. I mean, she runs marathons, half marathons. She's come to a couple of games where she's run a half marathon in the morning and then played the game in the afternoon.
Bloody hell.
Which is phenomenal.
You can tell her from me that I was always the runner, and take it from me, it all comes back to haunt you in the end. So she needs to start sooner rather than later. That's my advice to her.
Yeah, I don't think Nelly thinks that far. I think she's just doing whatever she wants.
Yeah, neither did I. Neither did I. Now I'm regretting
it. Yeah. Ellie has come in and said. She said, "Who's been the most hard work regarding injuries or messaging about injuries?"
Oh well, from my personal experience, definitely Ellie. I mean, she even messaged me today or yesterday. It's like, Ben, I've got this. What do you think I could do about it? It's just and I say, well, so when did it happen? Oh, a week ago. Well, that's not much use.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah. No, she's helped her quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I know she's had some ankle issues, hasn't she? Especially at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, she's a few little niggles, nothing too major, and we've managed them quite effectively. And so she's been available for all games, pretty much in good shape. So she's done okay.
Any thoughts on her £200 boots, Ben? Do you think they're value for money?
They were more than that, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she initially she got some new boots and then put them on and changed them at half time because she couldn't play with them. She went back to what she knows. But I think with Ellie, doesn't matter what you put on her feet, her skill is there. She's
she could run around that pitch with slippers on.
Yeah,
and still beat 4 or 5 people and get and bang one in the top corner.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've seen that. You obviously didn't see that rain last week. There's no way anybody's slippers would have run around that pitch. I thought you said flippers, not slippers for a minute. I more like it.
Well, again, it doesn't matter what she wears, does it? So
no, true.
She could be wearing slippers or flippers. It was still the outcome will still be the same with her. I got another question. This one's coming from Craig. And he said, "What's Bernardo? You can answer this as well if you want. What's what tip can you give to players of any team who are looking to improve their overall fitness and condition in order to get up to the next level?"
A good question. It depends on what the level is and what the resources are. But for example, even if it's a one-off, seeing a good sports physio. Even because sometimes people think, but I'm not gonna have the money to keep seeing physios all the time, and sometimes all it takes is one session to be properly educated on how to first assess where do we want to be, and how do we get there, or where we want to be, if that's realistic, and in what time we want to be there, etc., etc. Once that is set and agreed by both the physio and the player, then the plan can be made. in a lot of it depends on what level we're talking about. But for example, this level, sometimes all it takes, sit down with sports physio one time, make the plan, follow that plan, and then do follow-ups if necessary. But just that is going to take you very close to where you want to be. And usually one of the biggest things with me is look at the things that people usually don't look at. Because when people want to, increase my performance, be able to run for longer, etc., and then they look at how should I train? How should I do this? How should I do that? And then they don't look at how many hours are we sleeping at night? What does our nutrition look like? Are we drinking enough water? Are our stress levels? And all these little big things that are enormous, because you can train all you want. You can go very hard, but then if you're sleeping 5 hours, eating junk food, not enough protein, you're not gonna you will improve, but your risk of injury is gonna go up. And
you're listening, Simon.
Yeah, I'm taking it. I'm writing all this down.
This is for Simon. This is Simon's biggest thing is he likes to run, but before you lot came on, he was polishing off a kebab.
Yeah, well, but for example, it depends on the goals, but one they did a study, a very interesting one, where they compared fitness and overall health between two groups of people. One group of people were overweight that exercise and non-overweight that don't exercise. Okay, so we have overweight people are considered overweight, but do their exercise daily, weekly. And then the other group, people that you look at them, BMI, etc., not overweight, but they don't exercise. And what they found is that people that are slightly overweight but exercise are overall more healthy, which is a
You've made my day, Bernardo. Made my day.
So just exercise and you're good.
You made my day. You're my new best friend. I'm going to get rid of Alan. You're coming in. Yeah. Do you know what? It is like that. I mean, as Alan said, I've run. I've played sport all my life, and I've done lots of different stuff. Always been really sporty. But yeah, it is kind of like there's definitely a more scientific way of looking at things now that help athletes, players, sports people. But what you said at the beginning there was more. There's when someone wants to do something or looking at maybe improving areas or starting exercise. There's a lot people don't understand. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. Like the most important thing is to have a fitness check to start with, to see where you are, because then it all goes from there, doesn't it? You can't just say, right, I think I'm here and I'm going to go and run 10K tomorrow. That's not the way it works, because you just end up hurting yourself. So you have to be you have to do things sensibly and look at the bigger picture and look at the do all the background stuff. Like I always used to enjoy doing the bleep test. It's probably a bit old school these days, but I still enjoy it. But so and I was always quite good at that. I got to like level 14.1 when I was quite young, about 14. Which is all right. And and those sorts of things. But we would do one at the start of the season, during preseason, and at the end of preseason, and the amount of difference in level of just the people. It was mainly me. I was got a similar sort of level, but it was the guys who weren't as fit and were a bit overweight, etc. The amount of improvement they did, because they were training regularly and trying to look after themselves a bit more. Like you say, sleeping more, drinking more water, all the little things. They all add up into something big, don't they? So it's a really big, really good thing to look at. Anyone listening this evening, I hope you got pen and paper ready, because you write all these things down if you want to start helping yourselves, get yourself fitter. This is what you got to do. You need to think about the bigger picture, think about all the little factors that get involved, that are involved in sports, and any kind of regular exercise, really. And there's little things. People tend to neglect the sleep side of things, but sleep's one of the most important. That's the time of day when your body's recovering. So you need to have at least 6, 7, 8 hours sleep a night.
You're going well over that though, Simon.
Yeah, I'll get about 10. Yeah. I only work 6 hours and then sleep the rest. Yeah. In between heavy meals, obviously. Yeah.
If that, Simon. Right. So before we go on to the question from our previous guests, I want to get from you two who out of the squad, and I don't mean like I'm going to say who's impressed you the most, but I don't mean that in terms of like obviously like Ellie's obviously scored. She's like the league's top scorer, the division's top scorer, and like she played really, really well. Katie's done really well, scored quite a lot of goals, but have like a whole general picture. Who's like impressed you guys the most?
Who are the favorites?
Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah. We don't have to label it like that.
Yeah, we do. Who's the favorite?
Go, Ben. Go. You first.
I mean, Craig could probably agree with this, and we have talked about it. That if you look at Izzy, how she was when she started so young, and her development over the years. So really, it's about her, how she's developed as a football player. I think that's the biggest change, and it's been very impressive. She learns really quickly. She's naturally skillful. She's very mature for her young age, and is really paying off in the games, as you can see. So I'd probably say that she's come the furthest since the start of this.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Ben. I just watching her. I've seen a big difference in Izzy where she's played. I saw her at the start, and then I missed a big chunk, and I saw her at the end, and the difference in her physicality as well is much improved, and she always seems to be in the right place now as well, which is testament to her fitness.
She has not missed a single training session. Craig told me today. Not one.
That's really good.
She goes to all Mondays, all Wednesdays, all Thursdays.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And that's the commitment that you're looking for, really.
About her physicality has become different, and she has become fitter and stronger. But that's not. It wasn't just that at all. It was her mentality changed a lot, especially midfield. And I remember talking to her a lot, telling her just push them, just don't follow them, but enforce. You're there, you have to enforce. And she came a long way, and being so young, I mean, it's kind of scary in a few years if she continues working hard, knowing where she will be.
100%. Yeah, no, I think Ben, all of you guys have said it as well. I agree completely. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, the first couple of games that we saw, Ellie was the standout one because she was so much more skillful than the players that they were coming up against, and she was scoring really good goals and creating really good chances. But as you said, over the season, the way that Izzy has progressed has been amazing. It's been absolutely brilliant to where she is now. Like you said, Bernardo, she's that sort of midfield general. She's that enforcer that just likes to get stuck in now, and then she's not afraid, and she has got a bit of skill on her and everything. She can pick out a really good pass. But yeah, her overall gameplay has come on leaps and bounds since the beginning of the season, and she should be really proud of herself.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Al? We got any more?
Yes. So we've got our final question has come from our previous guest, and he said, who's been your hero, and why are you involved in football? Go on, Ben.
Jacob, who's been my hero? I'd probably say Craig, actually.
Can't say him.
No, I've got to say Craig. I mean, his passion for this team and how well he manages his position, where he maintains that respect boundary. So, whereas Bernard and I talk to the girls a lot more, we get much more involved in what's going on in their heads. Craig, he steps back a little bit, but at the same time, he's not unapproachable, and the girls find him very approachable. And I've pretty much sure all of them have told me at some point that they think he's, you know, a fantastic manager, probably the best one they've had. And
yeah, I've had that as well. I've had
yeah.
that from a few of the girls as well.
Yeah, you think of what, you know, what he's taken on and what he's done with this team, and you know, just also tolerating, you know, me and Bernardo, you know, because you know, I'm 54, I'm quite direct, and
We can be annoying as well.
yeah, and I can be annoying, and you know, fair dues to Craig, he's put up with me, you know, I push, and yeah, and we worked really well together, all of us, and yeah, I think he should be very proud that he's taken this team to the top.
While you're on that, Ben, on Heroes, I know your background's not necessarily been football. It's more sort of running, skiing, and possibly cycling. I'd guess. Is there anybody in those worlds you look up to?
Yeah, I mean, it does vary over time, but currently, in professional cycling, I find Pogacar, who's phenomenal. He's just, the way he races it's all about attack. So he's fun to watch. It's the Froome days are gone, where it was all very clinical, very calculated, a little bit boring. Now they're so much younger, they're so much more powerful, and professional cycling is exciting. You never know what's going to happen. So yeah, Tadej Pogacar. I mean, if you know anything about cycling, he's huge.
Yeah, I'm quite a bit of a keen cyclist myself. I love Tour de France, and I try and watch the some of the Grand Tours on the on Eurosport as well when I can. But I was a little bit Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit out of touch the last few months. But I don't know if Mark Cavendish is going to ride again in the Tour de France. I don't know if he's got a team for this year.
So normally, yes, he does. Yeah. So I think final confirmation on that will obviously be a little bit later. But yes, he's supposed to be racing it.
That's good. Yeah, he was unlucky last year, wasn't he? He got injured, didn't he? He got in a crash and he
would
out.
have he would have succeeded, I think, in getting his extra win that he needed to beat Eddie Merckx.
Yeah, he's one away, isn't he?
Yeah, he broke his collarbone. I know all about it. Done it. I don't know how many times now. I forget.
Really? Yeah.
When you fall off bikes, you tend to break stuff.
Yeah, I've had a few crashes myself, Johnny into cars, sadly, when I was cycling
about. So good.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I know. That brings you on to Chris Froome. Actually, he had a very bad training accident where he got hit by the training guard, didn't he, and smashed himself up. And he didn't really recover, really, did he?
He hit a building at 50 kilometers an hour, and but that ended his career. Really, he's not been the same since.
No, sad. Yeah, I know. I've watched it, but I'm still angry with Lance Armstrong. To be honest with you, just like ruined the world of cycling for me. He was a big idol, and I've watched his. I don't know if you've seen his documentary. It's quite. It's a kind of a. It's a very. It's a really good watch, but it's also a sort of a sad watch from my point of view as well. It's kind of like, sees the person as he is, and kind of all the things he now has to do in order to keep himself going and paying off various lawsuits and all sorts of things going on. So it's all.
There's a form of organised crime, really. To be fair.
Yeah. It's like literally
just a little bit,
It's sort of like glamorous drug dealers, isn't they? Unfortunately. So not good at all.
What about you, Bernardo?
So did you ask like the local hero or heroes?
Who was your hero growing up? If it got you,
I can tell you
how it got you into sport.
I can tell you the person that I'm admiring a lot right now. I'm not a big runner. I enjoy running, but that I enjoy running, and I feel like running, and then I go run, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I hate this. So I'm kind of one of those. The guy, I'm sure you all know, the Russ Cook, the guy that ran from South Africa all the way.
The world's hardest man, yeah.
Hardest geezer.
Hardest geezer, that's
hardest geezer, yeah, that's it, yeah.
So for me, following what he did and just imagining putting yourself through that.
Yeah.
He had an average of, I think, 60 kilometers a day for over a year. So it's insane. And I actually worked at the London Marathon as a physio this year. He was there. I didn't see him. I was devastated. They told me that I couldn't ask for autographs, but I would have broken that rule probably. But yeah, it's, right now, it's a person that I really, really admire a lot.
Yeah, my sister went up to. She does a bit of running as well. It's weird in my family because I was always the sporty runny type person, and that's all gone full circle. So my sister does loads of running now. She was at London Marathon giving out medals as well this year. She does that most years. She does like a running club and does a bit of she does like 10Ks, does a couple of half marathons. But yeah, it's I mean, there was a couple of people I follow on Instagram who did London Marathon. A couple of them did really well. I just don't. I couldn't do a marathon. I just couldn't do it. It's just too far for me. I could do it. I quite like the thought of doing maybe a 10K. I could probably manage that because I've always been a quick runner. So I'd run at about six and a half minute kilometers. So it's fairly reasonable pace. I can't do it any slower.
Yeah.
I literally
I'm
just
opposite. I'm opposite. I like slow and very long.
Yeah, my sister's like that. She runs quite slow. She's sort of 7.5, 8 minute kilometers, and she's or miles. And
Wow.
Yeah,
she's
I like to run a bit slow as well, almost to a walking pace. That's about as quick as I'll
crawling
go.
pace, more like crawling pace.
Yeah.
That's just up and down the stairs.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So, but before we go, I just want to ask you guys what advice you would give to other physiotherapists who, because obviously, like we said at the top of the show, that it's all everybody that the club works as it's voluntary. So, and I've worked at football clubs at like step 5 and step 6 level where they have physios that are paid, that are taking some sort of, whether it's money for travel or it's an actual payment for them. You guys don't get paid for what you do. The guy that does it for the men's team doesn't get paid for what he does. So what advice would you give to other physiotherapists or companies like yours that are maybe thinking about doing it to helping out a club, but a bit hesitant really because of the financial or the lack of financial side of things?
I mean, I would say it's just great experience as a professional. When you're seeing patients coming to see them a few sessions, it's not the same as when you actually are involved with the team. You see the injuries in real time, you manage them in real time. What you can bring to the players, you get the reward of seeing that works, and you can learn from it. You can maybe tape someone a little bit differently because you've tried something. It's like, okay, that wasn't bad, but I'm going to try this next time. And oh, that's much better. So you've learned something, and it's rewarding because you see the results of it. So I think from that point of view, everybody should consider it, even if you just do it temporarily. I think it's a really good experience.
Yeah, no, it's good. I guess you would second that, Bernardo, as well.
Yeah,
you'd agree.
it's, physiotherapy has a lot of fields. Sports is one of them, and even in sports, you can do different things. You can just be the guy in the clinic that sees the player and rehabs, or you could be the guy that's on the field, or you can do everything, and you can be on programming. It is extremely interesting. What I would say is if any physio has the opportunity to at least give it a try, because it can happen what happened to Ben and me. We just give it a try. I mean, we've both tried it before, working with athletes and teams before, but you can go and then, oh wow, this group of people is really cool. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, I'm not getting any money out of this, but it's not all about money, and it's it is an experience. It's not for everyone. If you don't enjoy it, I mean, you don't enjoy it. There's a lot of things in physiotherapy that I really don't enjoy. So yeah, give it a try. You don't like it, try a little bit more. But if you really don't like it, then
yeah, I think you guys encompass the kind of spirit of the semi. Not going to say part time. The semi-professional football game as it currently is, both in men's and women's football, because there's a lot more teams at quite a high level of women's football that are not full time and are still reliant on volunteers. So I think it's a testament to yourselves and everybody else, not just yourselves, everybody else involved with Farnborough, in the ladies' team and the men's team that dedicate their time each week, day in, day out, helping out. Because without them, the club wouldn't be able to survive.
There wouldn't be a club, would there? There wouldn't be a club.
wouldn't survive. So there's only very few people outside of the playing staff at any non-league football club that get paid, and it's just a testament to you that you give up your time and your energies and your expertise to the ladies team, and also and Farnborough Football Club as a whole. So from my personal mind, I thank you for that, and long may it continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So
Cool. Good. Oh yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to ask you, Ben. Would you can you give the ladies team as a final, if anyone hasn't cottoned on already? Ladies team's finals on Sunday, 4:30 down at Stoneham Athletics Stadium, I think it is, near Eastleigh. And I just wanted Ben to give them a good luck message in French, please.
Bonne chance les filles, on va gagner dimanche.
Very nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I'd have said.
Go on, Bernardo. You might as well give him a good luck message in Portuguese then.
Boa sorte, vou ganhar no domingo.
Very good.
I have no idea what he said.
No.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, there's going to be people who are going to go back and record that and try and get the Google Translate out, try and work out what it was said.
Right. Right. Yeah. So don't go away, guys. We'll have a little chat when we come off there. But that leads me to say that this episode was sponsored by Tratec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit tratecconsulting.co.uk. Right, Simon, say good night.
Simon, say good night. Good night.
And it's a good night from me. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Should have probably said bonsoir, really, shouldn't I? But there we are.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Right, so that's it for us. We will be back very soon.